in my car. I'm going to be in my car for the next 3 hours, and I decided to make this video. If I post it, I don't know. Really, it's just one of the only times things are quiet and I have by myself. Actually, I'm going to be in the car for the next 6 hours, so bear with me as I tell the story of what has been going on since I kind of disappeared from YouTube. I haven't disappeared from all other social medias, but it's been different, and I know either you know about what's going on or you don't. But either way, I just felt that I need to, I don't even know what you call it, share my story, share what's going on in my life, and explain why I just disappeared off YouTube, because I had some high aspirations, okay? But yeah, why not? I don't know if I'll even share this, so this could just be for me to watch back. Why not? So, hi. I loved making and starting a YouTube, and I've had so much fun doing it, and that all abruptly stopped in July of 2017. And why is one of the hardest things to have to talk about it, but it's getting easier every day, but it's still very hard for me to share. I don't know if many of you knew, I have a sister named Amy who I love so much. I love her more than I could ever even describe, and she's been my best friend since we grew up. When we were little, she used to pick on me so bad and terrorize me, but I'm sure I was just an annoying sister. But as soon as I turned 16, she had my first niece, Allie, and me, Mom, and Dad were there to help her through that. And then when I moved out and started my own life, she would go on road trip with me to meet various dudes online, because that's a thing. And we bonded, and we lived together in a house with a bunch of friends, and we just have a really big history. And she's so great, and that's why it hurts so much to talk about what's happened since she met her husband. When she met her boyfriend, it was when I actually met my now husband, and he was young. My sister's 4 years older than me, and he was 4 years younger than me, so that's a pretty big age gap. But and she already had an 8-year-old, I think. Yeah, that maybe 7, 8-year-old. And so they started dating, and there were some red flags, but I always believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt and the chance. Anyways, so, they were together for a little while, and then she got pregnant with my middle niece, and that's when around that time is when things started to change. And I knew something was always off, but I never knew what. But there was things like she could never be alone with me without thousands of phone calls and being told she was disgusting and cheating and just really weird stuff. She was just hanging out with me, and my sister worked full-time, took care of kids full-time, and she barely had a moment to herself. So when I did get to hang out with her, they were always ruined, because she would just, if she didn't come home, he was gonna leave, or he was going to kill himself and things like that. And I knew that was really toxic and really dangerous. And I talked to her and I say, you don't have to do this. I got you. I will help you out of this relationship. And she said no. And there would be times where it would get better, and then it would get bad. And it would get better, and then it would get bad. It would get better, and it would get bad. So my family were sick of it, because there was a lot of things that I'm not going to discuss that he did. And I don't think he could help it. I think he's just as broken as so many of us are. That's how he dealt with things. He himself was, raised by his mother and his grandparents because his dad overdosed, and he is the one that found his dad. Which, that's trauma, and if you don't work through trauma, you're not going to get past trauma. And I think he wanted so badly a family of his own, but didn't know how to even take care of himself. Anyways, a few years, go by, and things are getting bad. And then my sister gets pregnant, and she loses a baby. And things get really bad. And then she gets pregnant with my nephew. And things would get better for a short amount of time, and then they would get bad again. And this just kept repeating. But right around the time my nephew, who's now going to be 5, was born, they took the oldest one out of school in 6th grade, and then they never put the middle one.
Police reported ahead.
Well, I best be careful. I hope this is not legal. I don't know. But anyways, so there was a lot of drug use, and it wasn't just marijuana. If I thought it was just marijuana, and I don't have a problem with marijuana use as long as it's not taking over your life, but there was a lot of now, is it foresight? Like, now I see, oh my God, that was a huge red flag, and I just didn't pay attention. But like, things started escalating quickly to where they were getting evicted from home after home, and they had these high-paying jobs, yet he was getting fired, and they never had money for bills, and we were always having to help them out, and the kids weren't going to school. And that's ultimately what the demise was that they kept saying Allie would lose her computer, or Allie would lose the things I would give her. Like, I would spoil her because I didn't have kids. I would spoil her rotten with jewelry and technology, and I would spoil those kids to death because I don't know, I was making lots of money, and I didn't have kids, and I didn't have any responsibilities, so I did what I thought was best, and I spoiled the heck out of my nieces and nephews, which now I realize was bad. But anyways, things just kept always getting lost and stuff, and I didn't find out till later that they had been pawning all the things. And anyways, so my oldest niece, who is now 19, she was raising those kids on her own pretty much for the last 4 years. Well, before me, she was raising those kids, and it was just bad. And the drug use picked up, and it became something else.
Police reported ahead.
It became serious drug use, and that's when he overdosed with my nephew in the house. My niece was with me, and my sister called me, and I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. And we were there, and he was gone. They didn't think he'd recover, but he did. And then the things started happening. CPS was getting involved because of truancy. The kids not going to school. So then there was illegal driving. It was just a lot of horrible things was going on, and timing led to my sister and him both, because they didn't go to their court. They didn't never go to court, and they would never, and unfortunately you'll get a warrant, and they both got picked up. And I got a call from my sister, and that's the thing I'll never forget. I'll never forget when she said, please come here, please come get the kids, they're taking me to jail. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go get them, and then we'll go bail you out, no big deal. Like, it is a big deal, but we'll figure this out. And that's not what it was. In that very same day, a social worker came to my house and said, we are removing your nieces and nephews from your sister's care, and we need to know right now if you can keep these kids, or we're putting them and splitting them up and putting them into foster care. We'll try to keep them together. Chances are they're going to get split up. And I didn't need, in my mind, it was an obvious yes. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need a moment to think. Like, these are my family, of course. And I have the house, I have the money, I have the means to take care of them. Absolutely, I will do that. So they came into my care. It's called kinship instead of fostering. And they came to be with me, and everything has just spiraled out of control since then. Sorry. This is hard for me because over the next year, they had opportunities to work on their case plan, get off drugs. And during this time, I didn't believe my sister was on drugs. I noticed that she was skinny and her teeth were black, but I believed everything she said. Cannot cry and drive. Inappropriate. Maybe that's not the best idea. Okay, I'm sorry. So, I believed everything she said, because why would she ever lie to me? And I know my sister. And my thing's coming up missing. No, that's not her. I believed it. I believed her, and I still love her so much, and it hurts. That's what hurts the most. But so we got these kids, my husband and and I had been married. Nobody knows this, but I was only married a couple of weeks before they came. Like, I had just had my wedding, and my wedding was. That's when my sister almost didn't get to come to my wedding, and she was my maid of honor. And he almost didn't let her because I uninvited her husband because he beat her. And I said, oh. Anyways, the kids were removed. They were put in our care, and my sister and my brother-in-law had, court-order visits, and they did them, and they stayed together for a little while, and then they didn't. And then things just kept getting bad, and the drugs and the alcohol, and it's not just drugs, it's alcohol too. I'm sure there's some mental instability, like, not being addressed, and I understand, like, it's fucking hard out there. I can't imagine what those two are going through, or what they feel, or what they felt. They had their kids taken from them. All I know is that they didn't do what they needed to do to get them back. I went to every court thing, I went to everything, and they didn't go to anything. And so after a year of trying to get them to do the case plan, trying to get them to go to rehab, trying to get them to do everything, and not just me trying, but everyone trying. And I know they love these kids. I know that they do. They just didn't do it. And so after a year, there was a final court hearing, and they didn't even show up to it, and it was to decide the fate. Like,
In 5.4 miles,
exit to State Route 5, Elm Road, Portland.
Okay. It was to decide if the kids stay in care or if they are given up permanently. And we had to make a decision on, they gave us some time, like, before the court, if we wanted to keep these kids permanently or let them go into fostering it for, or adoption or what. And my husband and I decided that we would keep the kids. And for months I hadn't heard from my sister leading up to that court appointment, and then she was staying with my mom and dad, and she was causing a big rift between my mother and father, a big rift, because my dad was sick of it, and my mom was just like me, didn't want to believe any of it. It took her jewelry that was an heirloom being stolen and pawned for her to really wake up. And her cancer medicine. Oh, I haven't even got to that yet. And her medicine was stolen. We found out, not this December, but the December before, 6 months after I had the kids, that my mom has pancreatic cancer. That's a really hard thing to talk about, because she's still here and she's fighting, and she's been on chemo. They gave her 2 months to live, and she's been with us for a year, but she's so sick and she's so weak. Anyways, back to the kids. So the kids were removed and given to us permanently, and since then the dad has really tried, and I can see that he tries to he gets sober and he gets better, and he sees them for a little bit, and then when he starts demanding things and being inconsistent and canceling, I know that he's back to using, and so then we have to stop it all over again. Then he apologizes, and it's this fucking wicked battle of trying to do the right thing for the kids, but also not wanting to. I don't want to keep these kids from their parents. I don't. I want them to have their parents. But I also know that I can't let them see. It's not good. And I'm not going to give all the details, because I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about people that are my family. At the end of the day, they're still my family. Like, I get that they're making huge mistakes, and I'm angry. I'm so angry. I'm angry at my sister more than anyone in the world, but I love her so much. I am so angry that she has been gone out of our lives since last June. And my mom is dying. Like, she's, like it or not, she's dying. my sister has just disappeared on not only my mom, but the kids and me. And I know it's not her. I know it's... But it's really, really hard because you can't help but wonder... I can't help but wonder if it's my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have taken the kids because it made it too easy to be an escape. It made it too easy. It made it too easy for it to be just a vacation because she knew the kids were safe. She knew I would never let anything happen to them. If they would have went into foster care, maybe she would have fought for them. I know that's not the right way to think, but it's hard. And I love them so much. They're the greatest kids. Sorry. So for the past year and a half, I've had 3 kids. A 19-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a soon-to-be 5-year-old. I got them when Reese had just turned 4. Ivy was 8, and Allie was 17. So I was lucky enough to help Allie get her GED and get
In 1 mile.
Exit right to State Route 5, Elm Road, Portland.
They're such amazing kids. Allie is a wonderful makeup artist, and there is so much in her future, and I see it for her, and she struggles too. I mean, they've been through traumas that I will never understand. I had the best childhood, so I can't even imagine. But the middle girl, even though they threw her into 2nd grade without ever being to school before, she has caught up and actually excelled. That they say that she's gifted. They all go to therapy and they're doing great. The littlest one, he's in preschool. He'll go to kindergarten next year. I'm so proud of them. They are the most amazing kids that have ever existed. I might be biased, but they're amazing. And I'm so lucky that I get to parent them as their aunt mom. I'll never be their mom.
Exit right to State
Route 5, Elm Road, Portland.
I don't ever want to, I don't ever want to replace their parents. Sorry I was so rudely interrupted by an alarm. But it was a perfect time for a pee and iced tea break, so I stopped and went to Dunkin' Donuts. Now I'm back on the road. And I was talking about how wonderful these kids are. They're amazing. I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of my family. And I also want to talk about my family. Besides the kids at the house and all the animals, I also have way more chickens now, like way more chickens. Well, we also have a wonderful roommate named Carrie. She's just an extension of us. She's like a co-parent. I trust her with the kids. Like, life is infinitely better with her in it. And I probably don't tell her that enough, but I think she knows. I think so. But, so there's her, and then my niece, the oldest one, she moves out, she moves back in, she moves out, she moves back in. I hope that for now she's back permanently for a little while, because I just love having her home. I love it so much. Oh, the lighting is so much better now. What changed? Anyways, I'm just gonna be straight on a highway for like ever, so I feel pretty safe. So back to all the things. So I got married to my very, 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 very best friend. Someone that I have known since I was a teenager. Didn't meet until 2007. And since 2007, we have been in each other's life constantly. We weren't always together. We had really hard times, but I will say that I appreciate the 7, 8 years that we spent before we were engaged and married and all that fun stuff. We spent all that time learning more about ourselves, because I really don't feel like we knew who the heck we were, and we are not the same people that we were when we first met. Like, we have grown apart and grown separately, and it only strengthened the bond and the love that I have now. And I think something that's really important for me to talk about is I didn't even mention so after getting the kids, it kind of zapped my job, because I lost the studio because we had to turn all the spare bedrooms, like the man cave and all the rooms, into bedrooms for the kids, because each kid had to have their own bedroom. And so I really don't work as much as I used to. I used to work all the time. So that's been a change. I'm only just now getting back into work and scheduling work regularly and doing really great. And I still love my job. I consider myself very lucky. I did start an Instagram account, which is pretty cool. I didn't know what I was doing with it until I do know that I said, I started going to therapy, and I told my therapist, okay, here's a ridiculous goal. When I hit 50,000 followers, I will make a new YouTube video. Because I was like, there's no way I'll ever get there. Not only did I, but I surpassed it, and I still hadn't made the video. So I'm very not proud of myself for that fact, but I am happy that Instagram can be a place that I share all of myself, all about my love, my life, my family, my friends, my passions, and I think that's so cool. Because I also work with, not only do I have my websites, and I love my adult work, and it hasn't changed anything with my profession, getting the kids. Like, I know lots of people in the industry have children. I know that. But when getting the kids, I immediately voiced my concerns, like, is this going to be an issue? And I was happy to find out that no, that, like, what I do is legal, so everything's good there. And they were like, you passed your background check, you're great people, you know what I mean? They were wonderful. So I'm very, very happy that I've been treated with nothing but kindness. We've had a lot of support from a lot of people, and it's just been wonderful. And the same goes for my husband. You guys, I can't, there aren't enough words ever in existence to describe how wonderful, in all the languages, in all of the time, even like dog language, cat language, every animal language, to describe how wonderful my husband is. And I am so blessed and so lucky to have him in my life. And the best thing we ever did was, after many years of on again, off again, we decided to go get separate counseling, and it was the best thing that ever happened to us. We both learned how to communicate better, and we both grew as people, and we grew together. Like, we grew apart and then together. And I think that is the most beautiful thing of the relationship that I have with my husband, is I was able to tell him, and we were able to talk about things that, all our insecurities and jealousies, and they were melted away when we were able to admit to each other that we don't necessarily believe that for ourselves that there is just one person and one kind of love. And I have loved multiple people, and there are different kinds of love, but something that a lot of monogamous relationships, are based on is you can only love one person romantically, sexually, exclusive, one person forever. And that's great and wonderful, and I support and love those relationships. But my husband and I, we knew that we didn't necessarily feel that way, and we just didn't know what that meant for us. And after, talking, we decided we're not going to look to date anyone else, but if anything were to ever pop up or come up or happen, that we would encourage each other to, but while respecting our boundaries, because you have to set boundaries. We only recently set boundaries, to see and grow other relationships and nurture them and share the love that we have for each other for other people too. And I have been lucky enough that I have met someone amazing, and it's actually a friend that I've had for years that I've had a crush on, but never told. And only about 7 months ago, when I was in Canada, I told him my feelings, and I was so lucky enough that he felt exactly the same about me. And I have been happily dating someone for 7 months, and I have the best 2 partners in the entire world. And does that mean that's it for me? I don't know. Nothing is set in stone. The whole future is not set in stone. All I know is I will love and care for the people that are in my life as long as they want me to, and as long as it is safe and healthy and loving and caring and good. I will continue to do just exactly what I'm doing. And a lot of people have problems with the fact that I have a wonderful husband and a committed, serious boyfriend. And actually, I am pansexual, so to me, everyone's fair game. I love people for their appearance. I mean, sure, that's part of it. Being attracted to someone is fine, but someone's gender or their genitalia, it doesn't change my opinion or attraction to someone. So it's like, whatever. So I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but I think so. So a lot of people are like, wow, why do you get two? And I think, and that's kind of offensive in a way. It's kind of mean to say that, like, well, why can't I even get one? And I know a lot of people are saying it tongue-in-cheek, and that's fine, but a lot of people aren't. And they don't understand, like, wow, you already have one, save some for the rest of us. But see, that's not really how love works, and that's not, I try my best to exude positivity and love and happiness and be myself and exactly who I am and just be me. And that's all it took. I didn't do anything special. Certainly, they can both attest to that. I am weird. They like weird. I'm a lot. And I'm okay with being a lot. I like being a lot. But I always bought into the love yourself first before you can love someone else or before someone can love you. And that's bullshit, because there's so many people that don't love themselves yet. And that's okay, because life is fucking rough. It's rough. So if you don't love yourself yet, it's okay. You still are deserving of love. Just like, it doesn't matter what size you are, what your weight is, what your ability is, any of these factors, none of that matters. Everyone is deserving and worthy of love and respect. And, I am incredibly blessed. I usually say I'm lucky, but it wasn't luck. It was more than that. It was more than that. And I'm so happy. And there's a lot going in my life, and it's very heavy stuff. But I have such a wonderful support system. And not only does my boyfriend love me, he loves my husband. They have a friendship. They're not romantically involved. They're both heterosexual, and I respect that. But the way that my partners both love these kids as their own, I am forever grateful and appreciative to them. And I hit the jackpot. I might hit the jackpot again. I don't really even know. They might hit the jackpot. Like, both my partners aren't, they don't have other partners. Well, they might have other partners, but they don't have anything serious like the three of us have with, each other. But they might, and I am excited for the day that, I can support them in their happiness, and we all respect each other's boundaries. And boundaries, come, because you don't necessarily know what your boundary is until you're like, oh, I actually don't like that. So you never know. But as long as we all are open and communicate with each other all the time, no matter what the feelings are, and we literally talk it out and are there for each other, it's really a beautiful thing. And I want to be able to share our life, which is hard for me because I've spent the last 15 years of my life not sharing. Oh, my it's going down. I didn't really share my romantic side because, for one, it was always conflicted because I was always confused on all the feelings I was having. But two, being who I am and what I do and putting their lives out there, I mean, it's not like I'm somebody famous, but I want to make sure that they are comfortable with me talking about them, and they both are, and I'm so lucky for that. And I want to share that love because maybe there's other people out there that feel things that I felt or had experiences like me and feel alone. I don't want anyone to ever feel alone because none of us are really ever truly alone. There's other people going through our experiences. I don't know. If I can actually make a positive difference, I will do whatever I need to. But at the same time, I do know I owe nothing to no one. Literally, I can only do what I feel is right and what I am comfortable with. And that's why I'm sharing all of this now, because I'm finally at a place where things are calming down, but they're not at the same time. But I had plans. I'm actually driving up to Toronto right now to spend a week with my boyfriend, which is going to be so hard, but I have work to do, and I'm going to go to his show. He's a rock star. He's cool. I'm not cool, so I'm going to be doing all these things, and I was going to film while I was there, and I was like, you know what? I am having some feelings right now. I just want to start rolling now. So I don't know if I'm ever even going to share this because this might look terrible. I mean, I don't even know if anybody's going to want to listen to this much babble, but I just wanted to share everything that's going on in my life, because I'm going to be coming back to YouTube and doing more. I will say in another video I will explain the things I want to talk about. I appreciate fashion, and it's just not my thing. Like, I will love to share videos of things, of great deals that I find, but I am very conflicted when it comes to fashion, because A, it's rare to find anything in my size. B, the few places that make things my size are overpriced. And also C, I want to throw all my, support to the indie designers that are doing the things for the supersized ladies, but I really can't afford that. But there is great reason why some of these things are so expensive, getting started and stuff. I just, now having all these kids and all these responsibilities and not really working a lot, I don't have the disposable income as I once did. So really, I just gotta go where the sales are good, and I gotta wear things that are probably too small, but I make that work. I'm a magician, and that kind of pisses me off. But that is a video for another day. This video is just telling you what has been going on in my life. I am married. I still have my little farm. I have 3 beautiful kids. My parents are my neighbors and my best friends, my very best friends. I have a wonderful roommate who is also a part of my family. We have crazy animals, crazy times. We're all broke, but we're all so happy. And I am, as I tell the kids, and when they ask me for things that I can't get, we may not be rich in money, but we are rich in love and usually snacks. We're rich in those 2 things, okay? And I feel so lucky. So things are hard, not having my sister around and always being worried about her, and then mom going through cancer and really struggling with it, raising 3 kids when I've never had a kid of my own, which I'm currently trying. That's a whole nother video, but there's a lot going on, and I am going to share again, as I once was with you, my life, and I hope you're on board. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and focus on driving. Love you. Bye-bye.